And we're back at the bend with continuation of pre-finals here for the Rotax Pro Tour Grand Final. Rotax Heavy hits the track. Paul Rogers starting on the pole. Lucas Genev on the outside front row. We've got lights out and we're away for 16 laps down through turn number 1. Mitchell Branson was due to start third with Ben Walter for AWC Motorsport Academy out of the 4. Great to see him back this weekend. And Andrew Cash, the South Australian, starting from position number 5. Through the mid part of the race circuit they go. Paul Rogers keen to get on with this one. He's skipped away already out the front. Second place is Lucas Genev. Bit of a touch there for between third and fourth. Through the mid part of the race circuit they go. Oh, Rogers gets nice and sideways there. Well, we're going to go 2 and 3 wide, a bit further back in the pack. Back to the front straight away. In fact, it's Lane Moore who's got himself into a second position. The number 7. Bit out of sorts yesterday was Lane Moore, the Gold Coaster, our runaway series leader coming into this weekend. And now got himself into second position. It's all about Rogers in a 10 though. Stepped into the category last time out with success. Been running lights for much of the year. Had Paul Rogers. Mitchell Branson in third spot. Then Nicholas Caruso, followed by McMillan. Then Walter, followed by Board, Lucas Genev, Zach Morris, Mitch Wall. Then it's Whitmore, Jennings and Cash down in 13th spot. Go through the final complex of turns. Start working their way back towards the front straight away. There's a battle for third and fourth spot as they come down the front stretch. Currently held down by Branson in the 0-6 with the 20 of Caruso up the inside. Caruso gets it done. Still pretty damp conditions here at the bend. We're hoping that the sun that's kind of peeking through at the moment may come through and dry out the racetrack so we can see some great dry track running. The track does dry very, very quickly, astonishingly quickly. In fact, yesterday I don't think we had 3 sessions that were the same weather conditions all day. Went from wet to dry and back again throughout the course of the day. Made it very challenging for all of our crews. Great battle going on here, headed up by Christopher Board in the DR cart. Behind Board is McMillan. He was quick yesterday on occasion, had a drama in the second heat. Then Zach Morris, Lucas Genev and Mitchell Wall. It's the group you're watching at the moment as they come back to the start-finish straight. Down to turn number 1. Board, he's been a regular podium visitor throughout the course of the season so far. A bit further back at the moment, but the DR Kart team and Christopher do know how to pull one out when the opportunity arises. Caruso and Branson still going at it, with Walter there in 5th spot in the AWC Motorsport Academy kart. Great to see him back in the Pro Tour this weekend. It's been a while since we've seen Ben. There's the lead being held down by Paul Rogers, trying to build it up even further. Second place is Lane Moore. Third place, Caruso. Looks like Caruso might be starting to close in on more as I say that, actually. Lane Moore sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:02.087. Fourth spot is still Branson over Walter. Walter's coming in for some attention from Chris Board now in the number 43. Second and third, currently held by Lane Moore. He's our series leader the orange and black CRG in second spot. However, Caruso in the 20 is looking to catch up, and Caruso in fact goes up the inside and moves to second position as Rogers up the front continues to pull away. Caruso into second. He's got Lane Moore still right there with him. Gets a bit sideways down the front straight away in the damp conditions. Can Moore fight back here? Caruso does the fastest lap of the race. A 61.788. Through the mid part of the racetrack they go. You're watching the battle for second and third between Nick Caruso in the 20 and Lane Moore in the 7. Got a good start, did Lane Moore. Started 8th on the grid. Moved his way forward into second in very short order. But Caruso's the man on the move at the moment. Caruso into second spot there, trying to close the gap down to Paul Rogers. We'll get the gap for you now that Caruso's had a full lap out in front. Down to 1.7 seconds. Caruso taking 0.3 of a second out of Paul Rogers, doing the fastest third sector of anyone so far. Of course, for the first time ever in Australia, we're able to get sector times from the laps around here at the bend. Comes in handy on occasion. Sun's starting to take effect here. Hopefully we'll start to see the dry line very soon. So working their way through, Caruso. He's there in second spot, presented by Tillett Seats, who's Rotax heavy this weekend. Of course, Tillett Seats available through your IKD dealer network as they come back around to the start-finish straight once again. Rogers' lead was 1.7. Caruso, the man on the move. In fact, Rogers has responded with a 61.766, the fastest lap of the race, and he's opened it out to 1.8 seconds. 9 laps left to go in this pre-final for Rotax Heavy. It's been pretty entertaining throughout the course of the year, despite Lane Moore's dominance. Rotax Heavy. Top three pretty much equal distance between them at the moment. Lane Moore still there in third. Mitchell Branson's in fourth spot. Ben Walter, the Tasmanian, number 15. He's in fifth. Chris Board in sixth. Ben McMillan in seventh. Lucas Genev, then Mitchell Wall. Andrew Cash up to 10th. Gavin Whitmore, Corey Jennings and Zach Morris is the order as they sit at the moment. Drama about to come up for Christopher Board in the 43. Getting the mechanical defect flag down here on the front straightaway. So that'll complete his section of the race. Try and see the board cart when he comes past us here. See what may have caught the eye of our officials. Watching the battle for fourth at the moment. That's Mitch Branson in the 0-6 with Ben Walter closing in on him in the black and blue AWC Motorsport Academy number 15. So they start to wind their way back through the group of turns. There's almost like 3 or 4 different sectors to this track. Fascinating layout, very European in style. And it's the only track in Australia that is internationally rated, so can run international events. The Bender's being very bullish about wanting to run international events as their eyes on certain ones. Perhaps we might even see a Rotax Max Grand Final Challenge here one day. So now Walter up the inside of Branson he goes and moves into fourth position. So Walter moves up a spot and is on the move in his return to the national scene. Let's see if he can pull away now from Branson. Still got 6 laps to go when they come across the line the next time, so there could be time for him to start closing the gap to our third place man, Lane Moore. We'll see what sort of lap times that Walter can do now that he's been released from Branson. Moore's on a quick one. Just did his personal best of the race and set the new fastest second sector. Walter a 1:02.3, so we'll see what he can do now that he is clear. Ben Walter. Got about 2 corners between he and Lane Moore in third spot. Thanks to Tough As for bringing us the entire weekend here at the Ben Motorsport Park, the historic first ever race event on the karting facility. And it brings to a close a great season of Rotax racing throughout season 2018. Of course, tonight the gala presentation as well to take place here in the Welcome Centre, which has become the focal point of the Ben Motorsport Park. A number of historic race cars situated within that Welcome Centre. The Le Mans Porsche, a Michael Schumacher Formula 1 car, Jos Verstappen Arrows Formula 1 car, along with a number of 888 Bathurst winning machines, including the 2006 winner. And Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup took the win just a couple of weeks after the death of Peter Brock. So your race leader, Paul Rogers, has got 2.6 seconds now over Caruso. 101.624 for Rogers, a 61.69 for Caruso, a 61.63 for Moore, 62 for Ben Walter, 62.6 for Branson, 62.2 for Ben McMillan in the pace cart. So Paul Rogers, there he is, the number 10. Has that comfortable lead at the moment. Driving an FA kart these days is Paul Rogers. So there he is, got a comfortable lead. He's been around the scene for a long time, has Paul. Always works super hard to yield the results that he gets. He and his father travel all over the country chasing big races. And a step into Rotax Heavy has worked out pretty well for the driver of the number 10 as he goes down the front straight away. The battle for second still going on here. Caruso. He's really stepped it up the last couple of rounds as Nick Caruso, as Paul Rogers establishes a new fastest lap of 61.116. It's a full second quicker than what Caruso was on the previous lap. The gap's out to 4.1 from first to second. Moore took a tenth of a second out of Caruso on that lap, so it could be on here for second and third. Walter doesn't have the pace to go with those in front of him to try and close that gap. There's the battle for second and third. That's the gap between the two of them. Moore working overtime aboard the number 7 Team CRG Australia entry to try and catch up to the Petters entry of Nicholas Caruso as they come back to the front stretch once again. Down the front straight away they go. Moore taken 0.2 of a second out of Nicholas Caruso on that lap. So it's starting to close down. Moore was the fastest of anyone through the final sector. The sun beating down now. First hint of a dry line starting to come through. It's still a little way away, but we're starting to see it. Not bothering Rogers, though, who's got the lead out to 4.8 seconds over Caruso. He took another 7 tenths out of Nicholas Caruso the last time through. 61.1 for Rogers. Played a 61.8 for Caruso. 61.6 for Moore. So Moore chipping away in second spot to try and get that second position. And now he's right with the second place man as Rogers goes through. And here's the battle for second coming along the front straight away. Last lap board on display for our competitors in this pre-final for Rotax Heavy. The checkered flag will be on display at the end of this one. Rogers, can he open the lead up to more than 5 seconds? Can Lane Moore get himself on the front row for the final this afternoon? That's what remains to be seen over the remaining around 600 metres of this particular lap. Rogers now. He's only got half a lap to go. It's been a terrific drive from the pole position, Paul Rogers. Into the Mojo section he goes. And back into the stadium comes our race leader, soon to be race winner. Checkered flag is at the ready for Paul Rogers in the number 10 cart. Comes around with thanks to Tillet Seats for bringing us Rotax Heavy. Onto the start finish straight he comes. Checkered flag at the ready. And the flag goes out for Paul Rogers. He takes the win. Caruso, he comes home in second spot. Then Moore drops across the line. Coming home in fourth position will be Ben Walter. Great job from Walter. Then it's Branson in the 06, followed by McMillan, Genev, Wall, then Cash, then Corey Jennings and Zach Morris round out our race finishes here in Rotax Heavy.